Hello, Western residents. I'm Don Benson, high school history teacher and member of the WA's negotiations team. And I'm here to give you a negotiations update from our May 1st, 2023 mediation session. And this session largely focused on compensation because we have made progress in non-monetary items. So at their May 1st school committee meeting, the school committee announced where their current proposals are. And so let's look at them. The WEA proposal stands at 13.75%. You'll note now that that's over 4 years, where our prior proposal was over 3 years. We, like the school committee, having negotiated for nearly a whole year, actually more than a year, believe that it's best to achieve now a 4-year contract. The school committee proposal, as they announced, stands at 10% over 4 years. I'd like to talk now about how we got there. If you recall, our last number was 5, 4, and 3, or 12% over 3 years. That was a drop of 5.25% from where the school committee had frozen us when they stopped negotiations and asked for mediation. The school committee's prior offer equaled 7% over 3 years, or 1.25% movement from their past offer, or 9% over 4 years. Now, let's talk about movement to getting to the new numbers. As I mentioned, our prior number was 12% over 3 years. The new number is 14% over 4 years. Our prior annual average was 4%. Our new annual average is 3.5%. And the actual annual change was 0.5%. We once again feel like we made a significant move down. The school committee, in countering our offer, presented 9.75% over 4 years. They called their move a substantial move. Their prior average was 2.25%. Their new annual average is 2.4375%. Their movement up was 0.1875% to our 0.5% movement down. We then traded offers again. The WA moved to 13.75%, a movement down of 0.25. Our total movement since we started mediation has been nearly 7%. Now that's on a 3-year basis because that's where we started. The school committee's total movement has been up 1.75%, again calculated on a 3-year basis. Our move since we started mediation has been nearly 4 times greater than the school committee's. The school committee has chosen to negotiate by 1,000 paper cuts. At this rate, we'll be negotiating well into next fall. We are anxious to get a deal done, and we feel like our numbers are helping to move to a place that can happen. Now let's talk about our numbers. Again, the WE's proposal is 13.75% over 4 years. The school committee's 10 over 4 years. Of the other districts that have negotiated since the summer of 2022, they've come in between 7.25 and 15.5, with most between 10 and 12%. That's over 3 years. The school committee's 4-year proposal is at the bottom end of where most school districts have achieved agreement over 3 years. Again, we feel that the school committee can do better, that this does not honor the work that we've done during the pandemic and we continue to do. It's not fair to the inflationary environment and is not competitive to what other districts have offered. I'd now like to talk about, again, the cost of living environment. In my last video, I talked about the school committee's misleading claim that Western teacher salaries have never been explicitly tied to inflation. And I pointed you to the Financial Summit document, where it said salary increases tend to correlate to the Boston area CPI. So let's look at the CPI, both actual and expected. For our 2022-23 contract, which should have started in September of 2022, The annualized CPI from September 21 to September 22 was 8.2%. On April 28th, last Friday, Bloomberg published an article called Inflation Expectations Tick Higher. You can link to the article through the QR code on your screen. And in it, it talked about the University of Michigan survey for inflation expectations. The next year, inflation expectations are 4.6%, and that they remain elevated at 3% for the next 5 to 10 years. So over the course of a 4-year contract, the actual plus the expected inflation rate is 16.8%. The school committee has offered 10% when they previously acknowledged in the financial summit that wages tend to correlate to the CPI. Our current offer of 13.75% is well in line with that correlation. We are looking to get a contract done. If you would like to help advance this process so that negotiations don't extend into next fall, please contact the school committee. Their names and their emails are on the screen in front of you. Thank you for your support.